Hi, having seen a few videos lately about lathe and mill mods, I thought I'd take you through some of the little mods I've done to my lathe. Um, so it was Cloud42 and Blondie Hacks both recently made a video, and they both have very similar machines, lathe and mill, to me. I think my lathe is slightly larger than both of theirs because I've got the 11 by 27 version, which has got seems to have an additional control knob here. The model of mine is a WM280VF. V's variable speed, F is the power feed, I believe, for the cross slide, because there was an option without. This lathe is metric. It's got a cover on the lead screw. That's the lead screw, and that's the feed bar underneath. So there's no threading dial, which means I always have to do the threading dial always engaged trick, which on a different recent Blondie Hacks video, she was constantly flicking the machine between forward and reverse to drive the carriage backwards and forwards to do her threading without disengaging the lead screw. Now, I've had that problem many times when I've been threading, which is why I developed the control knob here, which I've already made a video about. That allows me to very quickly and easily drive the carriage forwards and then backwards without having to stop the machine, flick the direction switch, start the machine, stop the machine, flick the direction switch, start the machine, all while reaching over the chuck. It's a lot more enjoyable to use when you just twiddling the lever there up and down. It makes things a lot quicker. Let's go in for a closer look. The other thing that I've done is a indexed carriage stop. Some point I'll fit a micrometer body to one of these so I can get a more accurate one, but for most of the things I've done, this has been perfectly adequate, and it allows you to very quickly position the carriage. For instance, when you're pushing a piece of stock through the chuck, get it up to a tool, you can measure the length, you can then rotate the stop, you can then do an operation and flick it again, so on and so on. Back here we've got a rear tool post, which I built a long time ago. That's very useful because it means you can keep your parting and your turning tool on at the same time. I do use a variety of other parting tools. I don't often use that one actually, but when I need to do repetitive things, it's quite handy to have it there. I tend to use that one quite a lot, the insert type cutting tool, for general, especially aluminium cutting. It seems to work well. And I've also got a very tiny one, which is very thin as well for doing smaller bits. Now, one thing I noticed on Cloud42's lathe was he was still using a spanner to do his tailstock. My tailstock was a spanner operated one, and one of the first things I did was very quickly knocked up a lever for the tailstock, which was made out of an old ratchet, which I'm just trying to remember how I built this now. Looks like I've pressed in a bit of material into where the ratchet teeth were, and then used a screw to lock it to the shaft, which I must have turned a cam on. I've got a circlip there to retain it, and just a piece of grotty box section, but it works very nicely. So that's locked, unlocked. A lot quicker than getting a spanner out and loosening it and tightening it and so on. Another thing I saw recently was Adam Savage did a little tray for his tailstock, which, yeah, as you can see, I could do with one of those, so I shall be making one of those very soon. The other major difference, or the other upgrade I've made to this lathe is I've fitted a 3-phase brushless motor instead of the DC motor that it came with. It's quieter and more torquey, so an improvement. But I think looking at this lathe is 12 years old now. The ones you buy now seem to come with either 3-phase brushless or 3-phase induction motors with VFDs. So it's if you're buying a lathe now, you're probably going to get one of those anyway. And of course, quick change tool post, but I didn't make that. I think that's about it for lathe mods. Just have a quick look at the mill. The mill is very similar to the one that Cloud 42 and Blondie Hacks have. This is a AMA 25LV, so it's similar to the Precision Matthews 25 PM25 by looks of it. Again, I have fitted a 3-phase motor to this. That's not always on there. That's for doing the drawbar. Main things, I added an extra bit of rubber there to catch the chips, because they always seem to fall in the wrong place. Twiddly knobs for instead of the little ratchet handles that you get. As Quinn said on Blondie Hacks, they basically are never in the right place, and yeah, I very much bent mine, same as she did. Another mod I did to this was to make a concealed DRO. The reason I did that was because if you mount it on the back, you lose a good bit of travel. And there have been a number of times when I've used every last millimetre of this mill's travel. I've even removed the rear rubber way protector just to get that extra few millimetres out of it. The DRO itself, I have had working. I made myself a crude PIC-based and small LCD type readout, which did work. I managed to blow it up at some point, but I'm just recently working on using the touch DRO. Runs on an Android tablet, allows you to run multiple DROs, tacos, whatever you like, into the tablet. Displays it on the screen in a really nice format, and it's got lots of functions. I thought it's worth a go. It's been one of those projects on the back burner for the last however long. See if it ever gets done. Right, mill-wise, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching.